to say anything. He did not have to say anything. And the pure fear on her face says it all. Just a disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a lawyer, it's just my opinion. Now, their invitation got sent out way before the Justin Baldoni BS. But this is a great example of I'm shaking in my boots, but I'm gonna try and play it off real cool. And he didn't play it off cool, and neither did she. She got caught. That look on her face when she snapped her head so fast when Ryan said, "What have you heard?" is him going against her. This is pure revenge at this point. He is so pissed he is in the middle of this. Receipt after receipt after receipt. And he has to deal with it. He has to watch it. And he's the one sitting there like, I was just here supporting my wife, and now I'm mad. Now I'm mad because I also got lied to. So that, what have you heard, was a real quick sign of watch me. That's him putting his wife in check for the whole public to see. And she knew it. She tried to play it off, but she knew it. And you can't tell me otherwise.
Justin Baldoni has finally had enough of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's public antics, and this time, he's firing back loud after Ryan's slick little jab at the SNL 50th special. Yep, it went down just days ago, and let's just say Justin is done playing nice. But here's where it gets wild, because Justin's not just clapping back, he's calling everything out. And we're talking hidden motives, shady alliances, and Hollywood masks slipping all the way off. So here's what went down. At the star-studded SNL 50 event, Ryan and Blake were in full spotlight mode, acting like nothing was brewing behind the scenes. But then came that awkward audience Q&A segment, hosted by Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. That's when Ryan threw his hand up and cracked a so-called joke, one that was clearly aimed at Justin. And trust, it wasn't cute. The moment he opened his mouth, all eyes darted around the room. And Kevin Costner, his face said it all. Man looked like he wanted to vanish from the building. He kept glancing at Blake like, "You gonna check your man or what?" And he wasn't alone. Several celebs looked tight-lipped and mad uncomfortable, while others just straight up rolled their eyes. It was awkward, messy, and weirdly personal. But let's not forget, this wasn't some small after-party or roast night. This was SNL's 50th anniversary, millions watching, A-list names stacked wall to wall. And Ryan still went full shady mode, cracking jokes like this wasn't connected to serious allegations and legal fallout. People weren't just mad, they were shook by the audacity. Social media instantly blew up, with fans dragging Ryan for making light of a situation involving serious accusations. They called him tone-deaf, disrespectful, and straight-up cold. But what really set folks off? Blake's reaction.
Mad at SNL right now for having Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively on. Y'all don't have to be mad. SNL just did us a huge favor. SNL likes to have celebrities on at two very specific times in celebrities' life, when they're at their peak and when they are on their down.
See, she didn't flinch. She threw on her PR smile and clapped along like it was nothing. But sharp-eyed viewers caught that split second of panic before she pulled it together. That look said everything. Fans weren't buying the act. If Blake really felt disturbed by the accusations flying around her husband and his circle, why didn't she stop him? Why show up to an event she once claimed she was too emotionally shaken to attend, especially when Justin was being dragged through the mud, alone, with zero support? And here's the kicker. Why were they even there? SNL is now led by Scarlett Johansson's husband, Colin Jost. And in case people forgot, Scarlett and Ryan used to be married, and that breakup wasn't cute. Word has it that Blake played a huge role in why that marriage hit the rocks. People say Blake and Ryan got real close before he was even officially split from Scarlett. So being there, under Colin's roof? Yeah, that's cold. This wasn't just a messy moment. It was calculated. From the red carpet grins to the shady joke, everything felt like a staged PR play to downplay their own scandal. But it backfired. Badly. People were not here for it. And now, even SNL's getting caught in the fallout, with fans saying the show looks desperate for ratings and completely blind to public sentiment. Producers are reportedly furious behind the scenes, feeling like Ryan and Blake used the platform for a damage control stunt that blew up in everyone's face. Meanwhile, Justin and his family, still in the shadows trying to survive the backlash while the Hollywood darlings laugh it up on live TV, and the public? Over it. Folks are seeing through the glitz, through the fake smiles, and through the America's Sweetheart act. The whole SNL stunt, it seriously blew up in Ryan and Blake's faces, and not in the way they were hoping for. Folks were already side-eyeing their random, try-hard appearance at the show. But what happened after? That's when it all really hit the fan. So check this. Longtime cue card handler Wally Ferriston, aka Cue Card Wally, pulled up on the Aussie radio show Fifi, Fev, and Nick to spill behind-the-scenes tea from the night. And when one of the hosts asked if Ryan's shady little joke was pre-planned, Wally didn't even hesitate. His answer basically confirmed that this wasn't some innocent off-the-cuff moment. Nah, this was rehearsed, locked in, and fully intentional. Fans were floored, not just by the weak attempt at a joke, but by how desperate Ryan and Blake seemed to be for attention. People were like, seriously? You're dragging someone mid-lawsuit just to look relevant again? Even folks who used to root for the couple started giving major side eyes. And boom, just like that, Ryan's team scrambled into full-on cleanup mode. A so-called source close to Reynolds ran to the New York Post, claiming Wally's statement was totally false. They said the joke was pitched by SNL.
It was a big show. Now, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have been in the news a lot, and Ryan Reynolds, we want to know, was that an improv or was it scripted, his little piece he did?
That was actually, he had a different line in rehearsal, and he pitched that to replace it. So that was his idea to do it. We wouldn't want to do anything too controversial unless they were in on it. So yeah, that was his line. That was his idea.
And the follow-up line was allegedly tweaked during rehearsal. Then NBC came rushing in to back that up, claiming none of what Wally said was accurate. But here's the thing, an SNL insider even tried to dismiss Wally altogether, saying, he's not involved in the writing process. Like, really? The man's been part of that show forever, and suddenly now we're supposed to believe he's making stuff up? Be serious. Wally's got nothing to gain from lying. Meanwhile, Ryan's got a whole image to protect. And while Ryan's people were busy putting out fires, Justin Baldoni's legal team was not staying silent. His lawyer, Brian Friedman, popped up on the Hot Mics with Billy Bush podcast and laid it all out. He called Ryan's SNL stunt exactly what it was, an attempt to minimize serious allegations by turning the whole thing into a punchline on live TV. Friedman even hinted that they might use the clip in court as proof that Ryan's behavior contradicts the so-called trauma he and Blake claim to be navigating. Because let's be real, if your family's going through something heavy, why are you making light of it on stage? Why throw shade like you're doing stand-up instead of dealing with the situation behind closed doors? Justin, for his part, isn't keeping it cute anymore either. He's come forward and said straight up, he believes Ryan's agenda goes way beyond just cracking jokes. He's accusing Ryan of trying to destroy his name and his career, and sadly, the receipts are starting to pile up. This isn't the first time Blake and Ryan allegedly used their Hollywood clout to humiliate Justin. Sources claim they once had him and his team moved into a basement during a movie premiere.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been actually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
While they basked in the spotlight upstairs. And as for Blake, word is she looked him dead in the face and said, I have my dragons. They'll always protect me. Yeah, that kind of energy. And it's not just whispers anymore. People are calling it a full-blown pattern of intimidation. Then right after the SNL chaos, news dropped that Blake added 50 pages to her lawsuit. 50 pages. Amending the original filing to drag Justin even deeper into legal hell. And in those new pages, Blake claimed she wasn't the only one who felt uncomfortable around Justin. She alleged multiple women had similar experiences and accused him of on-set misconduct. One claim involved Justin allegedly forcing cast members to sit through a live birth scene, which she said made everyone feel weird and violated. She quoted him admitting that he'd made women uncomfortable in the past, allegedly saying things like, there was a woman or two that I in some way made uncomfortable by saying something or doing something that was chauvinistic. She even quoted him preaching on-set stuff like, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable. According to Blake, he said that during the filming of It Ends With Us. But here's where it all gets messy. Internet sleuths dug in, and turns out, none of what Blake claimed checks out. Again, people found inconsistencies, missing timelines, and contradictions in her statements, And once again, Blake's credibility started cracking under pressure.
A real honest look at the ways that I've unconsciously been hurting the women in my life. And it's ugly. My wife told me that I had been acting in a certain way that hurt her and not correcting it. Basically, sometimes when she would go to speak, at home or in public, I would just cut her off mid-sentence and finish her thought for her. It's awful. The worst part was that I was completely unaware when I was doing it. It was unconscious. So here I am doing my part, trying to be a feminist, amplifying the voices of women around the world, and yet at home, I am using my louder voice to silence the woman I love the most. So I had to ask myself a tough question. Am I man enough to just shut the hell up and listen? I gotta be honest, I wish that didn't get an applause.
Here's where it all really started falling apart for Blake. Because the internet did what Blake's legal team clearly didn't expect. They checked the facts. Those dramatic quotes she included in her lawsuit? Yeah, none of them came from the movie set. Turns out they were pulled from a TED Talk Justin gave back in 2017 and a CBS interview he did years ago. Straight up public content, twisted out of context to make him look like some creep. And folks are now asking, was this a lawsuit or just fan fiction with a legal header? Seriously, it's like Blake's lawyers thought no one would bother Googling anything. But once those receipts started flying, the truth was impossible to ignore. They were cherry-picking old interviews and weaponizing Justin's own words against him. And that's just the beginning. Because Blake didn't stop there. She also accused Justin of obsessing over her and Ryan's personal life, allegedly asking inappropriate questions, and even trying to coerce her into filming a climax scene on camera. She claimed the two had agreed to scrap the scene because she wasn't comfortable. But Justin allegedly pushed back, calling it important to him. But that's not even the part that had people gasping. Blake said the SNL drama happened after she amended her original lawsuit to include even more disturbing claims. She brought up old accusations that Justin body-shamed her and even walked in on her while she was breastfeeding multiple times. But when Justin came with receipts, whole new story. Turns out Blake was the one constantly inviting Justin into her trailer to revise scripts together. Not only that, but when she accused him of masterminding a smear campaign against her, it quickly became clear that Justin had nothing to do with the public backlash she was facing. That hate came straight from the internet reacting to her own behavior at the It Ends With Us premiere, where she came off so out of touch and distant, it rubbed everyone the wrong way. And get this, while she was getting dragged online, Justin was out there showing love to fans, being gracious and taking every photo request. That villain label not sticking the way she thought it would, which made people start asking,
First of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why did women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountable.
was this lawsuit about justice or revenge? Now the conspiracy theories are flying. Some even think Blake's vendetta against Justin might be more personal than anyone guessed. Like, personal. There's whispers that maybe, just maybe, there were unreturned feelings involved. And this whole mess is her way of lashing out after being rejected. And the public? They've had it. The tide has officially turned with hashtag cancel Blake and Ryan trending across platforms. But here's the wild part. These two, they act like none of it can touch them. Not even a ripple in their PR perfect world. But that confidence is looking real delusional. Let's talk about the red carpet moment that sealed it. If you needed proof that even their own circle is getting tired, look no further than Amy Schumer. Fans caught the whole vibe. Blake clinging to Amy, hugging her over and over, acting like they were besties in a teen drama. But Amy looked drained. Lip reader Nicola Hickling went viral for breaking down what was really said between those hugs. And according to her, Blake told Amy, "I need this hug so much." And Amy? She allegedly muttered, "God help me," under her breath after the 5th or 6th squeeze. Yeah, that awkward. And here's the kicker. This is the same Blake who publicly complained just months ago about being hugged too much by fans at the premiere. But now she's out here wrapping her arms around people like she's handing out therapy sessions. The hypocrisy was loud.
How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
and fans definitely noticed. Amy, being Amy, played along and offered Blake some surface-level comfort. But people haven't forgotten that she blindly backed Blake on social media not long ago. The same way she supported Amber Heard without even watching the trial. It's giving bandwagon support, not facts. But let's not gloss over the most twisted part. For a while, it looked like it was working. Blake and Ryan had almost succeeded in ruining Justin's reputation. Brands were quietly backing away, studios were ghosting him, and media outlets were circling with hit pieces. But then, Justin dropped the receipts. The internet flipped. Fast. Context came out. Quotes were debunked. Behind-the-scenes footage leaked. And now people are looking at Ryan and Blake like they're the new face of fake Hollywood. Narcissistic, performative, calculated. Honestly, Amber Heard might be out here exhaling in relief, realizing she's no longer holding the crown as Hollywood's most hated, because Ryan and Blake just grabbed that throne and sat down like they own it. Now listen, the internet is going crazy. Fans are dragging Blake and Ryan left and right, calling them everything from manipulative to just straight up toxic. Some are even saying they're the worst Hollywood couple since Jada and Will. And let's not forget how that mess unfolded on live TV with Chris Rock. And somehow they still didn't get canceled? But what do you think? Are folks going too hard on Blake and Ryan, or are they finally getting the heat they've been dodging for way too long? Drop your take in the comments. I need to know what side you're on. And if you're riding with us through all the Hollywood chaos, make sure you smash that like button, share this video with someone who needs the tea, and hit that subscribe so you never miss what's going down next. This drama? Far from over.